Sorry about that. I was wondering if I even adjusted this one. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Knox, really? Can we have one stream where I just introduce everybody and we're fine? Okay, you got your snack. You know you get another one at an hour mark, so don't make me shock you. I'll treat you like Hassan's dog. How is everybody doing? I gotta kill the music. What? Yeah, no, so people like thought I'd gone deaf. Yeah, that's my fault. My bad. Knox, you go to your bed. You go to your bed, bud. Come on. Good boy. Good boy. People like seeing your beautiful face. They just don't know what you smell like. Actually, he got a bath. How's everyone doing? My husband, kids, and I love watching your videos. I always don't know how to feel when people like bring up their kids watching my videos, because I feel like it's I feel like my videos aren't very kid friendly, but also I don't really sugarcoat the real world, so it could go either way. I appreciate you guys' support. Dan Bogino? I don't know who that is. Dan Bogino. How do I know that name? Is podcasting again? Why do I know that name? I'm great with faces, terrible with names. Hold on. Bonagino. That's why I know that fucking name. You know I'm dyslexic, right? Yes. Yes. So he's back to podcasting. I did not know that. That's actually really cool. Is Russia secretly trans since it's called Mother Russia, but it has a man's voice? You know, we're never gonna bring that up, but Buff might make a joke about it. Of course. Glad to see you, brother. Glad to see you, Ryan Buster. How you doing? Bonagino, former deputy director. Yeah, I'm great with faces. As soon as I saw his face, I was like, oh, okay, I know who that is. Yes, hello, Uncle Sam. I'm Uncle Sam. China versus Russia. Who wins? The world. That was an alley-oop. You just, you put that up for me and I dunked it. I had to go for it. Actually, I adjusted all my lighting and everything like that, so that should probably be on. Volume is low. On mine, it's showing right in the middle of the yellow. Some people say that when they get in here, they're like, hey, your volume's a little low. And then other people are like, no, it's fine. So I don't know. Can I get a hell yeah? Of course you can. No one cares if you're dyslexic. I care. Volume perfect. Thank you. What kind of dog is that? Knox is an Australian Shepherd and Pit Bull mix, but he is 100% booze hound, and he is like living with a grown man as a roommate. He farts. He burps. He's everywhere. Yeah. Did you know the U.S. had DDGs under construction for Iran, but the government fell first? This became the kid class because their original service, they stayed in the Middle East. I did not know that, actually. I know, like, we were kind of cool with them, and then the whole 1979 Islamic Revolution happened, and yeah. Will the kid get his first intercept this year? I would laugh if he did. Because, like, I genuinely wonder, like, all bias aside and everyone fantastical and beefing up their things, we know that it's not just the machine, it's the person operating it, right? And the logistics behind them, the support, the intelligence, like there's so many things that go into it. And I genuinely feel like the F-22 is just a complete fucking powerhouse. And I feel like if they even went up against like your J-20s, your Su-30 or Su-37s, Su-57s, I genuinely think the kid's coming out on top, but I'm kind of curious. Why is our president beginning to sound like Homelander? This is the thing. I try and pay attention to results. That's what I've always done, right? I did this under President Biden, and you can have whoever is in charge sounding like and saying whatever they want to. What are the results? And thus far, while NATO's pretty mad at us, they're also starting to build back up, which strengthens the alliance in general. If I run for president, make a slogan, would you elect me? I'd elect me. Really? You know what? I would never run for office. Not that I have too many skeletons in the closet, because, you know, obviously politicians are fucking sleazy, but I'm far too honest for politics. I hope retirement is treating you well. It is. It is. I'm doing pretty good. I'm enjoying life. Just, you know, keeping busy, keeping very, very busy. I don't know what I did to my right elbow in the gym, but it has been just in pain for the last couple of weeks. I may like get a wrap for it and see if that maybe like helps. We love you. I love you guys too. Geese dude, thank you so much. Have I heard about the hypersonic missile being developed by some people from SpaceX? The difference between a missile and a space shuttle is payload and destination. That's really the difference. There's no other way to, I mean, they have the technology to do it, and the rotating detonation engine is doing better. Scramjet technology is doing better. So yeah, I wouldn't put it past them. I mean, they're already experienced in advanced rocket technology. I feel like they need way more F-22s than 35s. I mean, we got a lot of F-35s. The US alone has like 500 of them. I think there's over 11 or 1,200 in the world. This is a tip for the fantastic video you put out today, Buff for Life. Oh, yeah, you gave me just a tip. I'm sorry. Message retracted. Austin, what did you say? Have I heard Russia using Africa as self-bombers? If not, you should address it in a video. I saw a video, and I wasn't sure if it was satire. I saw a video a while back of them strapping anti-tank mines to one of their African conscripts. And I don't know what happened with that. You're the only source of news media I trust. Dude, some guy in my comments got real fucking mad today because I made a joke, right? Because you guys saw that UH-60 Black Hawk that was being towed in Israel. And it dropped, you know, something went wrong. It dropped, it fell, got destroyed, whatever. And I was being a smart ass. God, nuance is lost on the fucking internet. I hate it so much. I was like, oh, when it fell on 2 million Palestinians, 3 mosques, and a historical site that is associated with the birth of the Prophet Muhammad, correct? And oh my God, somebody in the comment section was like, oh man, HLC's gone super MAGA. No, I'm kind of make fun of everybody. Like, we should cut off Israel too. Like, just let them duke it out. Figure out who the fuck is in charge, man. So I do appreciate you saying not the only media you trust. I try not to lean either way. I know I'm a little more conservative. Everyone has their bias, right? Everyone has a bias. Doesn't matter who you are. And I try and stay as middle of the ground as I possibly can, but sometimes the jokes are just too good. Give the Submariners a lisp. That's actually, I've considered doing that for naval vessels. James McGee, thank you so much. Hello, forgive the middle of the night email. I'm on the night shift. I sent a bunch of places to tour. You didn't mean for that whole thing to be red as China. That's my bad. Places to tour little laser missile stuff. I will have to take a look. I haven't checked it. I've been so ungodly busy every single day, all day, every day. My wife is gilding the ceiling in my dining room right now, our dining room, for reasons I don't fully understand. And in case you guys were wondering, for my pepperbacks that are in here, when this stream ends, I started 5 minutes early, so it'll about 5 minutes after this stream ends on Pepperbox, my jamming video is coming out. I worked really, really hard on it. I had to be very careful when I treaded on some stuff. Someone actually sent me a Venmo and was like, hey, jamming is Signet. You need to be very careful. And I'm like, yes, I'm very aware. I speak in a lot of generalities. I don't talk about specific bands or exactly what systems can do what, just all open source from the internet. I'm very, very careful. So, 5 minutes after this stream ends, that video will be going live on Pepperbox. For the love of everything, can we please yoink Starmer before United Kingdom becomes United Kabul? You know, it's really strange. I was reading something today, and I don't know how true it is because, you know, the internet's the internet. Somebody said that they had like a competition in the United Kingdom, and at one point in time had said something bad about Starmer on social media. And they denied him entry into the United Kingdom. Now, I don't know how true that is, but that's wild. Now, I can see it from both sides, depending on what this individual may have said, if they did get banned from it. Then was it a matter of national security of the United Kingdom? Was it a threat towards Starmer, I don't know. Those are all. But basically, from what I understand in the UK, is there's a lot of regular English people. I don't fucking people from the UK who just want to live their life and not be fucking bothered. And I feel like there's a good portion of the United States is the exact same way. Like, I just want to live my life and not be fucking bothered. Argument could be made that both sides are kind of going about that the wrong way. But yeah, it's insane. Audio Nerd here can help with mic if needed. I mean, I got everything set up. I got this Rode Rodecaster Pro 2 Shure SM7B, and I went through all the settings with Dave, the guy who edits Kind of Consensual, and he said everything like is set up now, so I haven't touched it. The only thing I've touched recently, and you may notice that my complexion looks a little bit different from the last time we were on here, is
Would you intercept me?
Kristen, thank you so much for being here.
I'd intercept me.
Hey HLCF Starmer, sorry I missed you last week. Here someone.
Kristen, how you doing? I don't know enough about Starmer. I did see that Canada got real chummy with China recently, and I don't know how I feel about that. So I hear some Canadians are for it and some Canadians are against it. I don't know. But I'm glad you're here. But yeah, he went through everything with me and said that it's all good. I haven't touched it. But the only thing that I have changed is I didn't know this, and I don't know why it was. When I moved here, all my settings on my fucking camera like deleted for some reason. So just in case you guys are wondering, like, you know, you're like, hey, HLC's busy. Eli and Nick are 1,000 times busier than me. I have 4 habitually fat episodes lined up. Nick just needs to give me dates he's available. Okay. I have bugged Eli for like the entire week. Hey man, you might help me out with my camera settings? Just make sure I'm good. And he's like, yeah, I got you. And for 3 days, he was like, yeah, I got you. And just never spoke to me again. And I was like, you know what? YouTube University, let's do it. So basically what I found out is that my camera was pushing out in 1080 and now we are producing in 4K. Thank you so much. Spaced Intellect? I don't know how to say that. The DOW sent a letter to an adult store asking them to stop sending butt plugs to Navy ships in Belarus. That's hilarious. I would pay to be a fly on the wall when like somebody was just receiving those. That's wonderful. F-14 Tomcat or a Bell flights VTOL aircraft. I'm going to go with the Tomcat. A Tomcat is it's an iconic aircraft. Now I understand from what I've heard from people who worked on the Tomcat that it was a maintenance nightmare. Is that it required so much maintenance. It was an unreliable platform, but it was also a very dominant platform. I love the Tomcat. It's a beautiful aircraft. Not sticking around long tonight because I got hit with COVID. Heal up. And Anasazi with COVID, but just wanted to send my love. Well, I appreciate you being here, man. I hope you heal up. I hope everything goes well for you. Thanks for using the lion and sun flag in your video earlier this week. Oh yeah. I didn't even know that like was a thing until I started digging into the weeds, and I was like, oh, Iran had a different flag. I didn't even know Iran had a previous flag. Like, I get it. It's been steadily, people have lived in Tehran like longer than any humans in history. It's like been one place that like was inhabited fucking 10, 15,000 years ago, and it still is. I don't know if it's 10, 15,000 years, but yeah. Did we hear any more about energy weapons being used in Venezuelan drug boats? I don't know. The first shot, unless they cut out like what hit it, the first one I saw, my money was on Helios. You didn't see anything close in the distance. I went frame by frame. You didn't see a fragmentation pattern. It was just there, and then it was engulfed in flames. And I'm like, that screams Helios to me. I have no way to confirm that, but anyone who's dealt with weapons, back me up. There's a fragmentation pattern on a lot of different shit. Now, there's an argument that could be made that it was the Ginsu missile, the AGM-114 Hellfire. Well, oh my God, what is it? The Hellfire with the knives on it, fucking R9X. Jesus. Argument can be made for that, but that one doesn't really create like a big fireball like that did. So, like I said, could go either way, but my money's on Helios. Also, if you check your FCC and the local internet upgrades near you, they now have maps of network installs. The only people I have is fucking Xfinity, and I hate them. I loathe them. My wife called them today, and so I upgraded my router a little while ago because I just needed a new one. And apparently you got to contact them and like pair it. So that was part of the problem I was having, is that my router wasn't like paired with my account. And I'm like, that is the dumbest shit. If one router gets unplugged in my house and I plug in a new one in the exact same position, but I understand fucking safety. Was discussing Hiroshima and Nagasaki with a friend. They believe was unnecessary, and I'm in the camp of it was necessary because the alternative, which was Operation Downfall, would have been worse. Your thoughts? We actually, myself and Chris Cappy, we have a show on Pepperbox called What If, and we did a What If episode about that. A what if. So basically what it boiled down to is, aside from the lives that it saved on the Allies side, right? Because it was going to be American boats and American ships shipping Russians onto mainland northern Japan, and the US was coming in from the south, and like everyone was just going to kind of bum rush them. I was going to save a lot of lives on both sides. Aside from that, what Chris and I came to the understanding of, and I think you guys will agree with me, and I'm willing to make this argument, is that had the United States not nuked Japan in 1945, then the Cold War probably would have been a nuclear battle sooner or later. We came very close to nuclear war in the Cold War several times, and not just like the Cuban Missile Crisis, but again in 1983, and then there was one other time. We came very, very close. And I think everybody in the Cold War kind of looked at Hiroshima and Nagasaki and was like, let's not do this again. But had we not had that case study circumstantially, I think everyone would have been a whole lot more willing to throw them. So I think that's where I'm looking at. Britons. Ah, yes, people from the UK. The Britons. Starmer's a shit state. Oh no. Are you in the UK? Be careful, Josie. Such a shame HLC couldn't swim. I can swim. Who said I can't swim? I don't like open water. Oh, are we talking about like, Oh, took me a minute. Raise the volume by 20%. It's pretty much all the way up. I will go a tiny bit more. That's what I'll do for you. Did I go to a mud bath? No, I have not. But Mrs. Linecrosser has scheduled in the near future. I hope you guys know that I'm not trying to like purposely be, like I am purposely being cryptic about when I travel to certain places, because with the current climate in the United States, it's kind of dangerous for anyone in the public eye. Granted, I'm like a fucking Z-list internet celebrity. But we got some hot springs time coming up, and it's going to be nice. It's going to be wonderful. We need an episode on Starmer. We don't like him that much. Country's going to hell. It's interesting. I'm very curious, and maybe it's the conservative Brits, but I feel like a lot of them, really disagree with their administration. Now, I don't know if the crown plays any role or if they're just simply there, like the king and everything, but it's kind of, I don't know. The UK, again, outside looking in, there's a lot of people in the UK that look at the United States through the news and they're like, I would never want to live there. It sounds awful. But when you get here, it's really not that bad, right? Like the things you're hearing about are like little hot spots in the big inner cities or like Minnesota. But everywhere else in the U.S. is like, whatever, right? Like, I mean, the worst I've ever seen for any kind of controversy is like in my home or my town that I live in here, Las Cruces. I've seen some BLM protesters, stayed perfectly peaceful. I've seen, I wouldn't doubt if there's going to be some ICE protesters and someone has spray painted fuck ICE on a few different things. And I'm like 50 miles from the Mexican border. So I got a face for 1080 or radio, just saying, wow. I look like a stockier Eminem. Thank you. Mrs. Linecrosser says that I have gotten bigger. You guys be the judge. I've done gym stuff. I'm just kidding. I'm not toned. I gotta cut to tone. I'm not toned at all, but I am strong. I'm a strong, fat idiot. The blast pattern. Thank you, weapons. Yes. Everything has a certain Timu Dave Batista. That's funny as hell. But I don't know if I want to be compared to Dave Batista, man. I'll be honest with you. Depending on camera and software, audio video settings will return to default if you use a different USB port. Some stuff maps to port IDs. See, I didn't know that. I feel like I've had it in the same USB 3 slot the entire time, but I could be wrong. Swim or float, Fatty? I float, I think. It's been a while since I swam. My gym doesn't have a a pool. There you go. I don't have one of those. Do you use the UK as your Western protagonist because you think you can do that accent better, or because they're uptight, ringing palms? You know, so that joke started a while back. The US did something, and the United Kingdom was upset about it. It was probably Starmer, was very upset about it. And it just became kind of the running gag on my channel. I'm sure I can interject other countries when they have an issue with it, but that was the one thing. And now it's just, I mean, because circumstantially, God, there's going to be a lot of Americans that don't like to hear this. Circumstantially, we're kind of the UK's like crazy little brother, if that makes sense. Like, yes, people from the United Kingdom came over here, settled the original 13 colonies, and then we hated King George, so we kicked him out. The French also helped. That was kind of the last time they were useful. Now they just surrender all the time. And yeah. What happened to your sister? I heard she got medically retired last time I was on live. She is getting medically retired. She is not medically retired. Right now, she's in Tombstone, I think, with my older sister. Would you approve me? Oh, I know. You did. I'd approve me. This live stream of HLC is approved by the Ministry of Truth and Agency of the Super Earth Federation. I saw that come through my Discord. I think it was Discord your friend requested me on. Yes. I need to approve that. You know what I did last night is I had a gummy, and then I played the new Battlefield 6 campaign so far. I like it. It's actually a really good story. There's some logistical problems I would have with things, and if you've played the second mission on the Battlefield 6 campaign, I don't know what those cutters are that dude has, but I want some. He cut a lock. He cut a dude's thumb off. He cut power to a building. Like, dude, I want those little tiny cutters. I don't know what they are, man. You see, the crown is just for looks. They don't do anything. See, that's the thing. Like, I know there's been an argument for a while to like, let's get rid of the crown because they don't actually do anything. And it's more of just like a legacy thing. Would you guys get rid of them? Like, because I feel like, you know, their way of life, right? When the king was, when the queen passed away, and the king took over, I don't remember it. I want to say incarnation, but that's fucking wrong. I feel like that was a very expensive thing that the UK probably would have preferred to save that money on, but that's my own personal opinion. Grandpa Buff say about what is going on in the US.
Look, the shit I want to say about what's going on in the US. I said it in the video today. It's easier to just yell at somebody in uniform and tell them that they're a fascist rather than actually go out there and try and solve the fucking problem. Like, cause that's the difficult part. It's the same thing with most protests and shit like that. It's much easier. It's like these sovereign citizen dipshits. Hey, oh, I'm not of this fucking earth or whatever. You can't tell me what to do. Yep, step out of the vehicle. Oh, you can't tell me to do that. The Articles of Confederation. Psh, get out of the vehicle. Like, who fucking educates these dipshits? That has literally never worked in the history of ever.
But you know what does take down police forces? If you really wanted to, if you really like, if you, from a budgeting perspective, wanted to dismantle a police force, everyone follows the law. Everybody. And you'll be like, oh, but what about the people that single people out for race, color, creed, well, whatever. You are completely compliant no matter what they do to you. And then you subpoena the body cam footage, you subpoena any car dash cam footage, and then you get a big fat settlement check from that fucking police force. That's how you take down if you really wanted to. That's the easiest way to do it in the United States. Have I thought about doing the history of Buff, history of missile systems? I did a while back, like the history of the air defense artillery. I did 2 videos. I'll never do a 2-part thing again because both of them didn't do very well. But yeah, turn off the high beams, good Lord. You live in the Southwest. Only you can get a tan in the desert. What? I don't spend much time outside. Although I did fix my ATV. Now I'm kind of looking for some people to go riding with. So if you're in southern New Mexico, hit your boy up. I just don't want to go back out there by myself. Ding, ding, ding. And we have a winner of the internet. Oh, no, Wolfram, what happened? Is Greenland needed for the Golden Dome? No. However, okay, I mentioned this in the video today. I genuinely think President Trump is joking. I genuinely believe so. Now, there might be some partnerships, but as for us taking them over, it wouldn't make any sense from a financial perspective, because we'd have to dump all this money into getting the people of Greenland to American electrical standards, American living standards, American fucking building standards, everything, right? So it makes no sense. It's the same reason we don't really make the Virgin Islands or Puerto Rico a U.S. state. They're more of just like, you're a territory. That gives us the ability to say, hey, we're in charge without having to do all the financial responsibility shit, okay? Now, for a long time, Greenland has been a strategic position. There's no doubt about that. It is a large landmass that is in between the United States and Russia. Now, we have 60-something miles between us and Russia, like one of the furthest Aleutian Islands and the closest one of them. Like, we're very fucking close to Russia on that side. But they have no bases over there. We do. Can you please get me an autograph, you, Eli, Nate, and the boys?
Please get me autograph of you, Eli, and Nate, and the boys.
Yeah. I mean, probably Kristen, do me a favor. Reach out to my mods and have them get me your information. And next time I'm down at Unsub, I'll get it, because I can literally because I think they do that for people, because I've had to sign pictures at Unsub. I have one back there, right there. It's all autographed by all of us. So yeah, I can do that. It's not a problem. Learn pulleys and blocks before you go again. You know what's crazy? I used to run a tow truck, but I had no J hooks. My electric winch was on the front of the ATV, and it was non-functional because the battery was dead. Like, battery was burned up. I don't have a snatch block. You're right. I got it up there, but yeah, no, I know how to use that stuff. I didn't have the right shit. It's okay to be stealth strong. I like to be stealth strong. I did legs today. So far, they feel okay. I did the leg curls, leg extensions, like 4 sets of 15 each. It was like 160 pounds. And then I did the abductor, and then the ones with legs together, legs apart. Those each had like 140 pounds on there. I did like 4 sets of 10 or 15 per, and then I went and did, this is all after I did incline mile walk on the treadmill, and then I went and did squats, and I worked my way up to 225, and then I did 225, like 5 sets of that. So yeah, it was a good time. The irony of HLB being cryptic about his vacations, but outright says the exact city he lives in, Las Cruces, ain't that big, my guy. I know. Well, that's the thing. There is hot springs near where I'm at, which is fine. But I don't want to say exactly when I'm going. Now, once I'm there, I'll be like, hey, guys, check this out. But going there, yeah. The Brits have always given us the side-eye facts. What is... Oh, shit. It did that damn thing with the stuff again. What is your thoughts on NATO allies sending troops to Greenland? Big love from the UK. Always enjoy your content. It's a great thing. I think that regardless of who said, and it hurts one of those guys, it triggers Article 5. So, I mean, having people there is better than having nobody there. These are tripwire forces. You're not wrong. We're the UK's drunk on moonshine second cousin. We don't claim them. They don't claim us either, unless they need guns or food. We're quite good at that. We're very good at building shit. How's the ploppers and pepperbacks doing tonight? Pretty good. Knox, are you about to boof at your mother who just walked out the back door? You fat shit. I love you. I love Grandpa Buff, and I feel it's habitual's inner thoughts in the guise of a character. Might be. But I also kind of like lean into it as much as I can. How many people even live in Greenland? Not a great deal. The vast majority of that country, like the staggering majority of it, is uninhabited. It's not for lack of trying. It's just all glaciers and ice. A couple months out of the year, it's just frozen solid. You ever have nightmares of Kessler syndrome? I do. What is Kessler syndrome? I've heard of that before. Oh, okay. Yes, I know what that is. I've never had nightmares about it because it's really hard to put in perspective. Even though we have a ton of satellites and everything up there, how far apart they really are. And most of them, from what I understand, this is just people who I talk to who say this stuff, they're almost all in a deteriorating orbit, with the exception of like the ISS and things like that, right? They have a deteriorating orbit. So even if they break apart, sooner or later, they're just going to fall into the atmosphere and burn up. Dark fun change of subject for you. Why do we in the airborne artillery know more about missiles than you? Not talking about the M712 Copperhead. Well, it's a matter of Uncle Sam has made a lot of missiles. A lot. Now, my neck of the woods is air defense missiles, so I got real good at that. As for the Copperhead, I don't know shit about it. I've just never looked into it because people think, you know one missile, you know all missiles. Bro, I don't know shit. No, my frame rate's kind of dropping down. What's going on with that? Okay. Gotta go, HLC. Have a good one. Dodge 96 place. Thank you so much for being here. We become the meat missile. Yeah. I missed the donation you made a few videos ago. Which one? I'm so sorry. I lagged out. Did I lag out? Seriously? I hope I didn't lag out. I'm just getting down to that part. Greenland is close to base the Russian Northern Fleet. That is where they have their subs and Tu-95 160s, plus the Northwest Passage for trade. Yes. Now, it's when you're looking at it on a big map, like a flat two-dimensional map, it looks like it's very far apart. But if you wrap those, you find out that like just all you got to do is come over the pole and you're there. Like when we did was Operation Chrome Dome, a lot of our efforts were over the poles, and we simulate missiles coming over the poles when we do certain training exercises and things like that, because that's a very big, everyone assumes, oh, they're gonna come across the Pacific, the Atlantic. More than likely, they're gonna come over the poles. But yeah. Hey, sorry I'm late to the party. What did I miss? News-wise, I can deal with not catching up on the BS stuff. I mean, honestly, we're just talking. I think I covered most of the news today. Rich told you to get better internet. If I had an option, man. If the Insurrection Act is invoked, what would that mean for civilians? It's been a while since I took civics. Honestly, I don't know, because there's like when you activate the Insurrection Act. Now it's been a minute for me. I got to look into all these things. You kind of it shifts some of the powers to the federal side from the state. It's basically the federal side saying the state can't handle this. We have to step in, which gives certain. It lifts some red tape. It doesn't mean anything for civilians, really. It really doesn't. Now, could theoretically it mean federal troops driving down your streets? Yes, but you also need congressional approval depending on the troops. There's a whole lot of other red tape that comes into that, even with the Insurrection Act activated. What it would probably look like and logically look like would be federal, not really troops, but like federal law enforcement aiding local and state entities. That's more than likely what it would look like. And just a matter of getting control for a short period of time to like, hey, everything's back, everything's settled, everything's in control. We're going to hand it back over and it's yours now. Because that's what the goal would be. Now, that could go way off the rails. New Canager Purple Rose Blunt Press. Wish me luck. 4 grams. Okay. I don't know what that means. I need to get a new truck or SUV first. All I can do for you right now is fix computer stuff, unless I can take a Colorado or a Bronco on the BLM land. Oh, I mean, technically you could. I drove my truck out there. Hello from Poland, my Polish friends. By the way, US, please leave Greenland alone. I really don't want to get drafted to fight the USA. I saw, there was a cartoon someone made. It was just, like the little, I don't know who makes those. It's like a ball that has like an American flag on it, and he's just talking to other ones. There was one, it was like Sweden, Finland and Sweden just joined NATO. And it was like, Sweden, welcome to NATO. And Sweden's like, oh yeah, thank you. It's like, time for your first NATO war. Oh, who were we fighting? And America's like, me. And it's funny as hell. I really don't think, and honestly, from what I saw, Greenland had a delegation that came to the US and they were talking about business. And there's the Putin way of trying to get into a country, and then there's the American way. And the American way is usually like, hey, we'll help you out, do stuff. Yeah. Damn it. I hate it when it does that. Do I ever look into Taffy 3? Yes, I did. As of right now, I might make that like a spin-off series on the HLC State of Mind. I did look into Taffy 3. That is a lot of new characters, some of which are on the bottom of the ocean. So I got to figure out that. This is Peak Manhood. Listening to HLC Live while half my body is stuffed inside the wing of 737 MAX. Good God. You know what? Everyone, we're going to be real quiet, and we're going to let Arando do his job. Because wasn't the 737 MAX having some issues recently? So we're just going to stay real quiet. Arando, you got this. Do you need some tools, man? Are you good? Do you need everything? If I remember correctly, you've been getting into Warhammer 40K. If so, who's your favorite Primarch? I'm not good with the names yet. I've only gotten into the Horus Heresy. I'm part of the way through the 3rd book, about halfway through the 3rd book, because I only read when I travel, and I haven't traveled in a couple weeks. At the end of the 1st book, I was like, yeah, the Emperor, he knows what he's doing. And then like halfway through the 2nd book, I was like, nah, the Emperor's kind of a douche. I really like this Horus guy. Seems like he's got it going on. And then by the end of the 3rd book, I'm like, Horus is also fucking crooked. So basically, I'm on Team World Eaters. They have the simplest form of combat that I've seen. Is that planet in compliance? No. We're going to kill until there's nothing left or they're in compliance. The end. There's no backstabbing. There's no meanness to it. It's just like, this is our job. That's what we do. The World Eaters are very simple. Plus, I hear their Primarch literally can't be polite. Like, he can't be nice. He can't have happiness because, like, he has something, like, going on, like, fucking screws in his brain or something like that. He dude's batshit crazy. And basically, if he feels happiness or joy, it's painful for him, which is wild. Didn't realize Rich is such a softie. In a non-semi-auto 22 and appropriate is a non-semi-auto 22 appropriate baby gift. Asking for an Aussie. Yes. I think. Yeah, I think Aussies can do that. World Eaters are decent for heretics. I agree with the sentiment. No, they're not heretics. The Emperor is a fucking liar. He's trying to control chaos. You can't control chaos. They should have never gone into the warp, but then again, they wouldn't have spread across, the cosmos. Happy Friday, brother. Did you just send me an eggplant? Hand eggplant salute. Jackson, what are you about? What are you trying to get away with here, man? What are you trying to do? I eagerly wait to approve another Pepperbox video. It'll be on 5 minutes after I get off of here, depending on if I stop exactly at the 2 hours or not. But 7 p.m. Mountain Time, it'll be going live. Actually, let me double check that. I'm gonna pull that up real quick. Pepperbox Studio. Come on, load, you pain in my ass. Yes. Today's the 16th, right? Yep. Boom. It's called HLC's Classroom Jamming. And I wholeheartedly expect weapons about 24 minutes, because I think it's 24 minutes long, after that video comes out, to text me and go, you really skirted the line there. And I'll go, yeah, I did. That's what I expect. I wholeheartedly expect that. I can't wait for you to make a Starship lunar base face for your videos. We're going back to the moon. I know, it's going to be exciting. I don't think we ever should have left the moon. I mean, think about it. Like, the moon might have some minerals for us, right? Now, it would be expensive to ship those back stateside, but refining them up there and maybe using them to expand the moon base. And then if something flies by real close, it's easier to exit the moon's gravity than it is Earth's. So you can just get fucking, what's his name? Bruce Willis and all his oil drilling people together, put them on a ship from the moon, send them out there as it's cruising by, get all the materials you want, and then just jet off of it back to the moon. Done. HLC loot drop incoming. Keep an eye on your PO box. I haven't checked it this week. Tomorrow I'll probably check it. What is the difference between martial law and insurrection act? It seems easier to declare martial law and get an area under control real quick. So martial law is a very specific thing. The insurrection act allows a plethora of reactions, as far as my understanding, right? It allows a gauged reaction. Martial law is a very specific action that can be taken under the Insurrection Act, but usually martial law is kind of instituted in small capacities by governors, and has to be done for a real reason. Like, that riot had better be out of fucking pocket, like murdering people on the streets if you want to activate that, because you will get straight booted from office. You activate that bad boy and you didn't need to. So yeah, he's incapable of happiness. See, I don't know everything about everything. I can't even remember his name. All I know is he helped them out recently. Somebody blew up part of a wall. It fell down on him, and everyone's like, God damn it. And they're like just started murdering everybody. And then he climbed out from underneath the rubble and was like, where are they at? And just started fucking killing prisoners. He's got some emotional issues. That's fair. But at least he's not like plotting behind your back to overthrow you and like they did to Clarksey, I think that's her name, the Remembracer. Yeah, just in her room, just go to sleep. Yeah, that's bitch shit. This dude's gonna murder you when you're in charge, right in front of God and everybody. He's not gonna feel bad about it. What's crazy to me is if you read the book. So, okay, I'm gonna some spoiler alerts from the books here. Okay, Horus gets injured on this planet. It's a moon. Chaos comes in there. There's all these fucking creatures coming after him. Horus is a hell of a fighter. I will say that Horus is a fucking gnarly fighter. So Horus is like dying. Which is wild because Primarchs are incredibly difficult to fucking kill. It's like 2 or 3 hearts. They're like fucking 18 feet tall. They're take Master Chief and just make him more of everything. Like every part of him, make it more. Okay, that's a fucking Primarch. Anyways, Horus. So he's fucking dying. They got him on this gurney, which I don't even know where the fuck they found a gurney that's that big. And people are all like gawking. And they're trying to get him to the infirmary on his own ship, right? And because he's the fucking War Master. And people don't move out of the way. So you have all of these Astartes just plowing through and literally just crushing people as they're trying to... Like, bro, there's like 15 9-foot men who weigh over 500 pounds, who do nothing but murder for a living and are circumstantially immortal. Like their whole purpose in life is to exist until you're killed. Okay? And they're pushing this 15-foot man who is dying, who's in charge of the entire war, and I'm going to stand there and get in their way. Are you stupid? Everyone on that ship who died deserved to die. I'm sorry. It just did. Also, 3 meters tall? Who's 3 meters tall? Astartes are fucking huge, but Primarchs are bigger than Astartes as far as I'm tracking. For everyone in the comments, make sure the door is attached to the final assembly, not wings. Please educate yourself. Make sure the door is attached. That's final assembly. What door? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? I don't know what's happening. But yeah, no, I've been totally, if you haven't read, like started reading the Horus Heresy, it's actually really, really good. Like, it's violent. It is incredibly violent, but it's good. It's a good story. Like, I'm really enjoying it. Astartes are batshit insane on lore level. Yeah. Primarchs are almost 4. Yeah, Primarchs are fucking huge. Time to deep dive Primarch biology lore. So the only reason Horus was dying is he was stabbed in a couple other places with regular weapons and his body was perfectly fine. It was healing those, not a problem. Is he was hit with a specific sword that this I can't remember his name. He has this like prayer tattooed on him and he's like the religious holy man, but he's also a space marine. He's I hate him. I hate him. But apparently that's a common sentiment. Everyone in 40K hates that dude. But anyways, he stole a sword from these other people, which started some beef there between the Primarch and all them. And then he gave it to this guy who was infected by chaos. And that sword is what infected the Primarch. So yeah, Lorgar. Yeah, there you go. Lorgar. I hate that guy. Oh my God. Elon Hegseth's speech at the Starbase was the biggest thing everyone ignored or wants to forget, it seems like. I don't know anything about that. I'd have to look into it. If I have an order that I legally cannot serve due to private issues and am not allowed to serve, how do I cope without sitting on the sidelines? Well, this is the thing, man. So, how do I word this? This may be a hot take. Vets, I love you. I am one of you. But veterans are no better than anybody else. We are not above anyone else. We are not morally better. We're not ethically better. We are just a snapshot of the world that we came from, somewhere in the United States. So, what I will say is, if you're worried about, kind of sitting on the sidelines and stuff like that, that's fine. There are plenty of support roles, but what I would tell you, Red Sparks, is chase whatever your goals are. Success is subjective. To some people, and this is the thing, I want to drive one point very, very clearly. If you have all your bills paid, you got a roof over your head, your family is taken care of, your kids have food, you are a wealthy fucking man or woman, right? You are wealthy. Especially in the United States of America. You have everything you could ever possibly need. Yeah, I'm sure sometimes things are tight. Sometimes things, you have some difficulties in life. But to me, that's what success looks like. It isn't having millions of dollars. Like everything that I do, all these videos that I make, all the ad deals that I do, all that stuff like that is strictly to support my family and take care of my obligations. That is all I have ever focused on. That is it. That is the primary focus of my life, is that when I take my final breath, if my wife is still here, am I going to know that she is taken care of? That's all I want. And I think every good man out there kind of wants the exact same thing. That's, anyone worth their weight, right? So your definition of success, and it can change. Before I was married, my definition of success was, to all the friends that I've lost that I've tattooed all over my arm, I don't really publicly make it out there, but I do have my own religious beliefs. And I genuinely believe that I will see those friends again someday, when I'm standing at the pearly gates, hopefully. And I wanted them to be proud of me, proud of the life that I lived. I wanted to experience things that they may never have the chance to. I didn't want to go waste my time and my life away in a bar drinking until I can sleep at night. No, I wanted to have real world experiences. I wanted to meet amazing people. I wanted to travel the world. I wanted to do those things because when my life is over and I'm standing there, I wanted them to say, we're proud of the life you lived. And that was my definition for a very, very long time. And then I got married and my definition changed. So that's all I'm going to tell you is, Red Sparks, whatever your definition of success is, chase it. with fucking reckless abandon. That's the word I was looking for. Reckless abandon. Chase it. There's a lot of people out there who will never find their success because they're afraid of failure. Chase that shit with reckless abandon. Yeah, I know you guys getting me out in my feels. I felt that when I started saying that. You might see my face get a little bit red, but yes. Speaking of Warhammer 40K, I am Alfarius Hydra Dominatus. I'm unfamiliar with that part of the lore. Again, I'm only 3 books in, guys. That's the thing you got to understand. For anyone who's getting into 40K, it dwarfs any lore that you can think of. And I'm not exaggerating. All 9 Star Wars movies, if you count the last 3, right? All 9 Star Wars movies take place in like 100 to 150 years. All 9. Warhammer measures things in thousands of years. Like it is so fucking big, man. It's insane. We don't count the last 3. It's much less than that. I think it's in the 100 years because Jedi live longer than humans. So I don't know. When is HLC's classroom soaking? What? Oh God. Edgar Kami is the butcher's nails in his head. I don't know that word, sorry. Constantly stimulating the center of the brain for pain and rage until he lost sanity. Also bonus points if you can find the 5th Chaos God and his chapter. I haven't been introduced to any of the Chaos Gods. Right now, I guess Horus Heresy takes place in the 30K span. And from what I understand is you don't really see like the full reign of chaos until around 40K. Like we're getting like the beginning bits of it. Like this is the tail end of like humanity is conquering the cosmos for the Emperor. And then it all just falls the fuck apart right around 30K from what I understand. Jedi live longer because they be drinking that blue milk. Bro, so my wife has this thing. It's called an almond cow. Say what you want to, but you can make your own almond milk at home. But you can make almond cashew. You can make coconut. Like, dude, you can do so much cool shit with it. So we decided to make black sesame milk because it was one of the recipes in there. And the milk is black. And so we made it. It tasted like dirt. It was disgusting. So Jedi's be on some shit with that blue milk. Microphone level fluctuating? It might be because I'm moving back and forth. I try and stay pretty centered. Actually, one of the most common things on the moon is a type of hydrogen that is perfect fuel for energy creation. There we go. Craft Voorhees, the stand is now one piece. And like all good Army projects, it started with alcohol and a can-do attitude. You know, Craft, I really appreciate you, man. I cannot say that enough from the bottom of my heart. So Kraft, for those of you guys who don't know, Kraft, he's a fellow air defender. And I told him about my issue that I still haven't gotten my Gladius that I paid for from the Fort Sill Non-Commissioned Officer Academy. I paid for it. I said, hey, here's the money for my wooden Gladius, my retirement award, right? Like gift. And I just wanted my dates of service on there. That's it. And they still haven't gotten it to me. So he took it upon himself as a fellow air defender and at Fort Sill. He went over there trying to find it for me and make it happen. And since it all fell by the wayside, he's taken it upon himself to make it happen. And I cannot thank you enough for that. Like, Kraft, I had no idea who you were before I got a Twitter. We met through happenstance and like we're a Venn diagram of just like right in the middle is missile defense shit. You're better with wood. I'm fucking awful with wood. I'm good with metal. But I'm glad to have met you, man. I really, really appreciate it. Sadly, the ISS is soon to be commissioned. I heard about that. Wait till you read about the orcs. You're going to love the hell out of them. If enough of them believe, it becomes true. Example, if they paint a tank red, it becomes faster. God, I love it. I love it so much. I donated a tracking hound to a sheriff about a year ago. Today, a kid's mom, my hat dog saved in November, sent me a Keurig and like 400 K-cups. I was so excited. Oh, bro. Caffeine is the gift that keeps on giving. Hell yeah. The supporting cast, good job. Protocol 4 time. Is it Protocol 4 time? We got a couple minutes. I want to see Fritz. Thank you for what you do, man. These lives are the best part of my Fridays. Well, Sarah, you know, I'm glad you're here. And I love interacting with you guys, and I try and read as much as I can, but as you can see, it's a little bit chaotic. There's 738 people in here right now, according to that. The kid would feast in 40K, and his tism would allow him to be so OP'd he'd be able to slam a revolving door, and Nerd would just hack missiles with his return to sender decoys, buff glasses the remnants with his racism. You know, maybe that's something we should find out, is what legions would all my characters be a part of? I think that's a good... I feel like the F-35 would be Salamander. That's my opinion. That was my elbow. I don't know if you heard that crack. Yes, it's doing that nonstop now, like every couple of minutes. If I ever join the military, I'd aim to get in communications with my knowledge of English and a bit of Italian. If we have a war as NATO. Bro, honestly, hugely fucking important. Being able to work with partner nations in their native language. So one time at White Sands, I didn't know, and if for my Brits in here, if I say something wrong, just kind of correct me here. They said they were British Rangers, which didn't exist for like 60 years, but they were like bringing them back because I guess they needed something like the U.S. Rangers, like the Army Rangers, right? You have like special operations over here, and then Rangers are like, oh God, Rangers gonna hate this. They're like diet special operations, like. They're trained to a higher standard than regular forces, but they still have to maintain all the standards that are in like the regular army. They're just on a higher level, and they're often used for like extra security or when you need, you know, like small teams do small team shit. Rangers are there to fuck shit up. But anyways, I met these Rangers, and they had, so we were out at the smoke pit, and somebody had brought up a Gurkha. And I was like, you guys have never heard of a Gurkha? And they're like, no, what's a Gurkha, Sergeant? And I was like, oh, Gurkhas, they're Nepalese soldiers. They try out to be a part of the British military. I think the Indians also use them. They're kind of renowned for their fighting prowess. And then I talked about the story of Diprasad Pun, the guy in Afghanistan who killed like fucking 20 Taliban, including one of them with a tripod. And one of the British guys walked by and he's like, hey, we have a couple of Gurkhas here with us. You want to meet him? And I was like, fuck yes, I do. So I brought like me and all my soldiers. We're just missile idiots, right? They're like tier 1, like hardcore motherfuckers, and we're just dumbass test missile ears. And so we walk on over there. Super polite guys, very, very nice, but a Nepalese accent mixed with a British accent, I couldn't understand a single fucking word they said. Super nice. I was picking up every like third or fourth word, trying to like make things happen, but really cool dudes, really, really awesome guys. Yeah. But they are fucking scary. Yeah, there's another one, Ryan something comedy. Oh my God, I can see his face. He explained the story of there was a Gurkha on an Indian train, and they were like robbing people, and they like came after him, and he ended up like wiping all of them out by himself, which is so gangster. Oh God. The in-tank inspections of the P8 can screw off. Such a huge pain in my ass. They put steel everywhere and have all these parts. Oh dear. We're getting a new space station. Can we get an ISS Tianhong Haven 1 Falcon 9 rivalry? Oh, between all the different space stations? Probably. You know, honestly, does anyone sorry, I gotta get back to the right spot. Does anyone think that the Chinese space station is, as the kids call it, Ryan Kelly, there you go. I've never met him. I love Ryan's videos. I love him, honestly. Does anyone think that the Chinese ISS is a tofu dreg? Does anyone think that like it's not really up to our standards? But yeah, it's the Harlequins and the Clown God, I think. Harlequins and the Clown God? What? I support staying on the moon simply to deny others. You know, there was I don't know how legit it is, but there was a website that someone said it was legit. You could buy property on the moon, and it was like $100 for an acre. It was like relatively cheap. And I wanted to know if I could buy where the lunar lander was, because I would then approach the Department of War and say, your property is on my property and you owe me $1 million a month for rent. Is it cheaper to pay me $1 million a month or to fly back up there and move it? You let me know. Which lander? Yeah, you know, that's fair. We have a couple of them up there. Everything I bought from China ended up breaking, so yeah. No, you can't. That's a scam. Ah, balls. You could also do one for Mars, but I guess that's it's also yeah. Selling land on the moon. What a Brooklyn Bridge. Is Brooklyn Bridge a joke? I don't know. Cheaper to eminent domain your space land. Yeah, but it's still, I know the lander's not there, just the base of it. But the base of it is still on what I was hoping was my property. Cute dog, that's Knox the dog. Oh, we're past Protocol 4. He also doesn't like my my D-Rex over here. He barks at it. There we go. Here, let's do some tricks. Can you shake? Good boy. Speak. Good boy. All right. Can you lay down? 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 Bed. Okay, he's dead. Good job. Good job, bud. Did you sniff your butt because you farted? Good boy. Do you want to see the D-Rex? Oh. He's eating them at night. Oh, man. Had to put my dog down. That was a bad time for me to do all that. I am so sorry. Digging his grave right now. Thanks for the company. I'm so sorry, A Barrel. Sorry, weapons. Yeah. Oh, my timing is impeccable there. This has never happened to me before. What do I do? What do I do, guys? What's the odds on a kid getting an intercept in Iran? If they got their new Su-34s, possibly. Or no, 35s. You guys are like, boo this man? I'm sorry. But I'm glad you're here, A Barrel, and I'm sorry to hear about your dog. I know for a fact that when I lose Knox, he's 11 years old. When I finally say goodbye to that dude, I'm going to be crushed. I'm going to be inconsolable. So I'm sorry to hear about that. If anyone needs a person to talk to, I'll be at work 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. New Zealand time, or Arizona time. Not New Zealand. That's AZ, not NZ. I'm a little stupid. Every Friday or Wednesday through Friday, watching chemistry analysis for the semiconductor R&D gives me a lot of time to chat. You're in the Discord, aren't you? I think I saw you in there. Gamer Valine. If you and Mrs. HLC went to the Big Banana, how many jokes would get cut from YouTube and be a Pepperbox special? The Big Banana. What is the Big Banana? I've never even heard of that. If you and Mrs. Oh, sorry. So fuck the Gundies. I mean, basically that's kind of where I'm at. This is the thing. It's what you learn after a while is everything is made up when it comes to awards. It's really all it is. It's all made up. And this goes for the Oscars, the Academy Awards, all of that shit. It's all made up. It's whoever is the favorite. I think this person deserves it. That's all it comes down to. And we're lied to that it's some big magical thing. Leather and beer are my real hobbies. Now we're talking. Wait. I don't know about the leather part. I do wood and resin work when needed, like a good former NCO. I make things happen. Much appreciated, my dude. I suffer from that too. Weird, isn't it? We suffer from all sorts of things. Just arrived what I missed. We're talking about wealth. You were talking about wealth. I want to help a guy out struggling over here, trying to get a job. Don't care. Definitely a shameless plug. You or anyone from Unsub want to help would take the Greyhound ASAP. 595 Sparky, are you a vet? I'm not being a smartass. If you are a vet, so I'm wearing their shirt right now, regiment.gg. They have a program to like get vets better jobs. Like it's actually really good. I don't know if you're a vet. Have you watched? Oh, God damn it. I hate it when it does that. I'm way behind. Have you watched the YouTube series called What If the Emperor Had a TTS? It isn't canon, but I think you'll get a kick out of it. No, I'll look into it. If I enjoy 40K, Emperor, is it spelled that way? Emperor? Or did you just have a fat finger? It's okay if you did. All I have to say, check it out. Teaches lore and is funny. I will look into it because then I want to learn. Speaking of China, can we send Buff to Darlene's Gap in Panama? I have a field day with the demographic change that occurred there in 2022. I'm unfamiliar with this demographic change in 2022. Curious. I'll have to take a look. Text-to-speech device. Oh, if the Emperor had a text-to-speech, that's funny. A bit of bitching on my part. We can finally get along on Earth and start exploring our solar system. We're at least 50 years late on that front. Bro, you're not kidding. If we could all put aside our differences and say like, hey, I don't care about this shit anymore. Let's explore space. Mandalorian.
To break the tension, you can always talk about Russia's mom.
I never tire of that front.
Much love from the MH53 crew chief. New to Pepperbox. We got a new plopper, a new pepperback, a new, not going to say that word. That's not a real thing. The last one, yeah. Well, welcome, MH53 crew chief. That's the Sea Stallion, right? I'm almost positive off the top of my head. Sea Dragon? We need space racism. We really do. Honestly, that is the one thing. Like, if another species came to our planet, I thought about making that a skit. Like another species coming to our planet and like picking a fight, and then everyone ends up on the same side, and like all the big heavy hitters like get together and they're like, okay, what do you guys have? And Russia is like, we have, and like the US is like, look, we know all of your shit. It's all garbage. You have a lot of it and a lot of bodies, so we'll use that. And then China comes out and it's like, look, that doesn't work. We've tried that before, and just like lists everything out. And then it gets to the US and it's like, okay, hypersonic aircraft, teleportation technology, faster than light travel, phaser cannons, photon torpedoes, and like just listing out all this shit, and everyone figures out how painfully behind they were. Make cake, not war. Yes. Nox barked, my bloodhound howled and sung the song of the hounds for all to bear witness. Good. Nox is a good boy. Buff, how would you feel if your load was uninstalled by Kameni?
Okay. First of all, phrasing. All right. Second of all, I mean, I have been known to drop my payload on a few them Middle Eastern fellers, them goat humpers, the turban people. I've run out of racial slurs. I'm a little tired right now. But yeah, I could do that.
Warp drive the buff. Say less. Sounds out of sync? Is it? Oh, let me listen to myself. Yes. Sounds out of sync? Is it? No, it's not. Looks fine on mine. Canada's polar bears and polar bear jail, if that helps with aliens. You know, it's crazy. There's some things in my life that I understand. Okay, for example, I can't remember the name of my barber, the dude who cuts my beard, like, and trims it all up and makes it look nice. I can't remember his fucking name. I've been going to him for like 6 months now. I have no idea what the hell his name is. But for some reason, my brain's like, did you know polar bears hunt people? Why do I need to know that when I'm 50 miles from the Mexican border? This thing just retains dumb shit, and I don't know why. The Russian T-34 polar bear. Just play it off like when Rich choked up right next to you. Yes, I'm in the Discords. All right. Gamer Valine, I think I've seen you in there. To break the tension, you can always talk about Russia's... Yes, I finally got there. Did I miss any more? Okay, cool. Because polar bears are cool. They really are. They're terrifying, but they're cool. They are so cool. You know, the more I learn about the world, the more I realize that Americans are just extremophiles. Oh, just imagine if aliens invaded Quantico or Arlington on the core, bro. Okay, see, here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. If aliens, okay, it's really important to understand, like, we want aliens to meet politicians first, okay? We want that to happen. We really do, okay? And here's why. Because if they meet our military first, there's going to be, depending on who they meet first, there's going to be some very drastic differences, okay? I'll go down the list. If they meet the Coasties first, they're going to laugh at us. Sorry. Coast Guard Cutter is a beautiful vessel, not a warship, okay? If they meet the Air Force first, it's going to be a grudge match of air power. And that's just what it's going to be. Okay, I bet you guys thought I was going to say some shit about them being a pushover. No, it's going to be a grudge match of air power. If they meet the Army first, it's going to be just like, they're going to be like, when do they stop coming? How many of these have they put together? There's a fucking ton of them. Okay, and then if they meet the Marines first, well, I guess we'll find out immediately if they can be impregnated by humans. That's probably one of the first, like, we'll figure out how to kill them, and then immediately following that, can they get pregnant from a human? That'd be... Are we sure we want... It's probably the safest for aliens and us. It's just let them do their own thing and just leave them be. Oh, I forgot the Navy. Shit. Well, what would it be if they met the Navy? I guess they'd really like show tunes. Oh, God. Oh, I love it. Alien the Alusi. Oh, my God. The Alusi. I fucking love it. Oh, that's so good. That's so fucked up, but I love it. That is phenomenal. No sound at all? What? Who's saying no sound? That is phenomenal. I hear myself perfectly fine. Can the THAAD system stop hypersonics? Yes. Technically, Patriot can too, but it depends on the flight profile of what they're engaging. Remember, speed doesn't matter as much as flight profile. Just imagine if aliens... Oh, yeah, sorry, I read that one. Say what you want, but Canada's having to arrest people for DUI riding brown bears while drunk drinking maple syrup and whiskey. Aliens would love. You know, I bet the Polish and the Canadians might get along. At least until they talk about politics. When they start talking about politics, might be a little bit of a different feeling. You got a timeout on your response? I think they've turned it slow stuff on. Have I talked to Eli about going to unsub when the man, the myth, the legend Mike Vinning appears on their show? Hope you're doing well otherwise. I have. I believe my exact words were... Hold on. Let me just... when I'm going to scroll to when we talked about it. Where's my messages to Eli? Let me just search for it. He said, "Oh, dude, Mike Vinning is so fucking cool." And I said, and I quote, "I would literally suck your dick if you would let me on the podcast with him." No response. Swing and a miss. I tried. Okay, folks. Do I play any of the Total War games? They're doing a Warhammer 40K game soon. I don't know. I do like real-time strategy, but I've never played any of the Total War games. When I married my ex, I had a chocolate lab whose name was General Samson. Extra in the army, I would always joke that my dog outranked it. That's funny as hell. Ship measuring contest? Ayo. That wasn't Mike. No, that was Eli. I was texting Eli about it. When are we getting fully electric fighter jets? Probably never. And I'm not talking shit, right? It's just there's a significant difference in making horsepower and torque versus making thrust. And converting thrust to torque is the reason why the Abrams transmission on the Honeywell 1500 is about the size of a Volkswagen. What if they meet Space Force? Live long and prosper. I don't know. Ludendorff Bridge. What about that? Nick still needs to make a goddamn video about it. I told him I would do it if he didn't. He's like, I'll probably do it eventually. Nick, I love Nick, but he is so go with the flow that he's impossible to schedule shit with. Human alien baby. Imagine racism from both sides. I'm a female Marine, wanted to send love to you, Rich. Nick, don't play on the coasties. The ones in Alaska, different ball game. You know, I hear the, I do give shit to the coasties. I do. But coasties go out in a lot of shit weather, especially out on that ocean and like frozen oceans. Fuck that noise. Thoughts on the new ships coming to the U.S. Navy? Are we talking about the Trump-class battleships? I don't have enough details to fully understand. Now, I did read a report that came out that said they're going to cost between $15 and $44 billion a piece. I'm not positive, but I think that's more expensive than a Ford-class aircraft carrier. I think a Ford-class is only like $10 billion. Guys, is this a 1 or 2 cigar night? It's a 2 cigar night. That actually sounds really good. Maybe after stream, I'll go find a cigar shop and grab me 1 or 2 and just sit out on my back porch. Maybe light up a fire outside. You know. Are they made of gold? Yeah, dude, think about it. They got 2 300 milliwatt or megawatt cannons, like lasers, 2 600s, which aren't even fucking developed yet. They have 2 5-inch guns. They have 1 rail gun. They have 128 VLS cells from the Mark 44 VLS. I can't remember the exact designation. Ford class will cost about $13.3 billion. Yeah, dude, that's insane. There's a lot of firepower there, but again, I have to reach out to Subbrief. I don't know enough about naval warfare to figure out if, like, this is the thing. Expensive plays nothing to me. Like, I don't care if it's expensive. Is it worth it? And is it going to keep us at the cutting edge and ahead of everybody else in warfare? That's what I want to know. It's easy to say yes or no with that platform, but I want to know why. Like, what kind of case studies do we have to support your yes or no? That's kind of where I'm looking at. Turbine driven with a railgun and multiple lasers, spectacularly dumb. Facts. Fucking facts. Question. We know America doesn't want criminals in their country, but what about Australian refugees if attacked, since we're all criminals? You know, there's a guy on Instagram, and he's an Australian guy, and he's like, I'm an immigrant here to the United States, and I don't know what everybody's fucking bitching about. It's not that bad here. Like, we got a lot more freedoms. We can have guns. We can do whatever the fuck we want. Just don't jump the border illegally. And I'm like, that dude's fucking awesome. I really like his standpoint. I like hearing from immigrants. I really do. And, you know, I contrary to popular belief, I ride in a lot of Ubers when I travel and shit. So There's a large demographic of immigrants that drive Ubers. And that's fine. I don't care. I always ask about where they're from. I spoke a little bit of Pashto to a guy last time I rode in an Uber. He was from Afghanistan, so I remembered a tiny bit. And I'm sure he felt pretty cool that, like, hey, this guy's actually trying to speak my language. So it was interesting. At least Aussies are fun to hang out with. Aussies are a blast, as far as I know. Like, the few that I've interacted with, they were very go with the flow. Like, and dude, there's so much red tape in the United States Army. I don't know if the rest of the branches have to deal with it, but in the Army, oh, there is so much red tape. Oh my God. And working with the Aussies were fueling our Patriot site. And they were there for like 4 months because we were there for a year. So we had a group of airmen, and then they changed out and it was the Aussies fueling us. And then they changed out and there was another group of airmen, and the third group of airmen wanted to be a bunch of fucking dickbags. That was a wonderful conversation on the phone. But anyways, the Aussies, they were like, I'm here. What do you need me to fuel? I'm like, that needs 100 gallons. That needs 50 gallons. I need all these jerry cans full. And each of those launchers down there needs 7 gallons, probably every 12 hours. And they're like, all right, Mike, I'll make it happen. And they were just like super chill. Like, yep, cool. This is what I do. My job is to pump fuel. You need fuel. I'm going to pump it. Like, I fuck with that. When people are just real nonchalant, like, oh, I gotta, they don't do that whole like, let me ask permission. I don't know if I'm allowed to drive down. Motherfucker, this is my site. If I tell you to drive down there where there's fucking, I don't know, $1 billion worth of missiles because we're going to escort you, you do it. So, smallest filter I ever built, and that's basic, is 600 LH for a yacht. I'm unfamiliar with what that is. They have bars on their ships. The Aussies do? That's gangster. Jay Collins, thank you so much. If you like RTS and 40K, recommend Dawn of War. I did pick up Space Marine 2. I've played it once. I haven't really played it again. It's cool. I just haven't gotten into the story of it. Mark 48 VLS. Then what's the 44? Is the 44 the torpedo? Hold on. I think the Mark 48 is the torpedo launcher. I think I'm right. We're both wrong. It's Mark 41. Mark 41. Mark 44, like I thought it was, is the Bushmaster. And Mark 48 is apparently a machine gun. So we were both wrong. It's Mark 41. Oh, there's the Fritz. What's that? What? It's okay. You want to let the sun in? There was somebody in chat who said they wanted to see him. Come here, Mr. Fritz. Come on. Come here. You want to... Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. You little bastard. Oh. Why are you wet? Did your mom give you a bath? He seems moist. Hey. How about if you had no seatbelt? Okay. I'll put the seatbelt back on. But what if there was no seatbelt? Oh, okay. I'll put it back on. But if it fell off? Oh, okay. All right. He'll get a treat. Hey, relax, puppy. Okay, take it nice. No, don't bite Dad's fingers. There you go. And you drooled on me. That's for your brother. All right. HLC, look out, there's a big rat on you. Yeah, I like that little dude. But Knox is still my best bud in the whole wide world. Knox, you can go lay down. All right, bud? Go lay down. You look like you eat hard-boiled eggs. What the fuck does that even mean? That is... I don't know... Bro, I don't know. Is that an insult? I have no idea how to feel about this. I have no clue. I'm going to say that when someone pisses me off. You look like you eat hard-boiled eggs. I love hard-boiled eggs. They're fucking delicious. That's wild, man. Hell yeah, backyard fire is a must. I might get a cigar and have a backyard fire. Oh, man. Oh, man. That's funny as hell. When am I coming to Huntsville Space and Rocket Museum? When they answer my emails. I've actually been there once before. You guys have 2 Saturn V rockets. One of them is standing up outside. One of them is on its side inside the FAR building. And then they have, I don't know if it's a mock-up. It's definitely too small to be a real one. It looks like an SR-71 parked outside. I'm pretty sure it's just a model because it's big, but it's not as big as the plane actually is. So I don't know what the hell it is. But yeah, Huntsville is on my list because my wife actually has a friend who lives out there in Huntsville. And yeah, I saw someone say that battleships project power. I agree, right? Okay, hold on. Hear me out. Again, I don't know enough about naval warfare. I'm the missile and air defense guy and radars. That makes sense to me, right? So do I agree battleships project power? Yes. Do I also agree that the Iowa-class battleship is the most beautiful ship that has ever sailed the fucking seas? Yes, right? It's big, it's fucking lumbering, she's got big guns, it's fucking gorgeous. But I also know that a Ticonderoga, a fucking Arleigh Burke, hell, maybe even a Zumwalt could sink one before they ever know it was there. I hate that. I don't have to like it, but it's still facts. And yeah. Could be an A-12 Archangel. You're talking about like, yeah, but it's still, it's just too small. Metal Mania goes, don't you say it. I don't have to like it, but it is the facts. Like, this is going to be a hot take. I feel like Weapons is going to get mad at this one. I don't know much about Weapons, but I feel like he's a 1911 guy, right? 1911, phenomenal weapon for the period it was used for. Great weapon. But modern 45s have a higher capacity, they're lighter, and they are equally as accurate and reliable as a 1911. Is a 1911 an iconic piece of American history? Yes, absolutely. I want to own one someday. Probably just a fucking Rock Island one or something, right? Something cheap. I think it's a beautiful pistol. But if you're looking for something to take into war, there are modern variants and different types of pistols that are just gooder. Franklin Plushie, still waiting, man. An Iowa-class ship that Wisconsin was used, and so I think, yeah, because they changed one of them. We changed one of them to actually fire Tomahawks. You have a double stack 45, 12-1. Yeah, that's what I have. I have and mine's okay. I don't know if it's as accurate as a 1911, but I have a Springfield XD 45. It's a good pistol. I've had a lot of luck with it. It's been a comfortable pistol. It's comfortable to fire. It's well balanced. It's a good weapon. I have no issues with it, but I'm finding out there are some people that are really particular about certain weapons and certain weapon accessories. Like I have Angry Cops recommended, him and Eli both recommended the G43X from Glock. So I went and purchased one because I needed a new concealed carry. And I've developed a little bit of a gut, working on it. Okay. I also want to get big, but I've developed a little bit of a gut. So I like to appendix carry. I'm left-handed. It's whatever the opposite of a liver carry. Okay. Whatever's on the other side. And I like to carry there, but sitting down and standing up, very uncomfortable. So I found this one that's like a fucking Velcro strap. It's almost like a girdle. So it tucks in my tum-tum, but also I can keep the pistol underneath my arm, on the front, wherever, depending on what I yeah. Rock Island double stack is a 14 plus. Is it? I think there's only 13 rounds in mine. It's in there. I can pull it out after this. Find out. Must be the milk. What do I think it takes to make space battleships and aircraft carriers? A more efficient way to transport large, heavy items to orbit. Right now, it would be so expensive. I think Elon Musk got the price down a little bit, but it's still around $10,000 per pound to get it into space. That was last I read it. Could be cheaper now, could be more expensive. I don't know. So getting that stuff up there, really expensive. Really, really expensive. Mine's Taurus 24/7 OSS. My wife has a Taurus. SIG P220. I've actually never fired one of those. Orbital expense, yeah. Any technical information you can share regarding the new U.S. sonic vibration weapons if they affect men and women differently? Now, I don't know. I went into the weeds. There is not much information at all. Like I looked up Havana syndrome. There's an LED one. The only thing like kind of crosses into what you're talking about there. There's an LED. Fucking excited. I can see the picture in my goddamn head. Basically, the way it works is it flashes a certain color of LED, but before the optic nerve can adjust to that light spectrum, it changes to another one and hits it again, which increases cranial pressure and can cause you nausea, extreme headaches, things like that. So far, nothing out there publicly revealed has the ability to break the blood-brain barrier, which is what you would need to like make someone start bleeding from their nose randomly or start vomiting blood. There's a couple other barriers. I'm not a fucking doctor. I don't know how that works, but that system hasn't been purchased by anyone because supposedly it doesn't work on everybody. It didn't say like it was men or women or anything else like that, but it just didn't work on everyone. My friend came here from Germany. I like it. There's a German comedian who's fucking hilarious, and he's on Instagram, and he spends a lot of time in the US, and he asks like a lot of different questions to immigrants or to people who have preconceived notions about immigrants. Like one of the things I learned from him, I didn't know. Did you guys know this? This is a real thing. He like cited the actual fucking US code and showed it where it says it. All immigrants to the United States who get issued a green card or a visa have to keep proof of it on themselves at all times. At all times. American citizens don't, but people who have green cards and visas have to keep that proof on them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, including Christmas. So when they say, I'd like to see your papers, they're well within their legal right to ask that. It's just if you're an American citizen, you can legally tell them to piss off. I don't know. HLC is the man. No, you're the man, Taylor. I think you're a man. Hope you're a man. If you're not a man, you're the woman. Sorry. Would you free me? I'd free me. Anyways, where he's going to apply for citizenship might have been Gun Rage, Time, or Walmart. I'm a female Marine and met her while serving. Really? That's awesome. Statistically speaking, immigrants from Europe, like actual Europe, not like I came from this country to Europe and I lived there for 5 years and now I came to the United States. Okay. From Europe and Asia do really well in the United States. Like really, really well. Like better than Americans a lot of times. It's the ones from the Middle East, and we're going to just leave it at that. I'm not going to mention the continent that I'm going to talk about, but yes, they don't do that well. I'm the GOAT. Lou Diamond, you're the GOAT. But thank you so much. Oh, did someone say Marky was in here? Anna Marky's in here? Oh shit, yeah, he's down. I haven't gotten down to him yet. What's Plops, Growlers, and Nick? I'm gonna wait for it. As in the name Nicholas. Ers. Well, the last one is people who like history on Pepperbox. They would be referred to as the Fat Electrician's first name, which is Nick, followed by, I don't know if it's a fucking adjective, conjunction, whatever you would call it, that they like that style of stuff. So they're Ers of it. Yeah. HLC, how are you from an OG? You're an OG? You're an old gangster? Old school Navy? I fuck with some of the old school Navy things. I hear Wog Day has gone really downhill. That's the one thing. I will never get a chance to be a shellback. Just doesn't happen to the Army. Just never get a chance to do it. I would have loved to go through a Wog Day. I think that would have been cool. Cool experience. Growlers are the EA-18G, which is a F-18 that's been converted for electronic warfare. It's also a synonym for lady bits, according to the Brits. And plops is something that isn't a racial slur, but we wanted it to sound like a racial slur, so you could call people that without getting in trouble. Team Knox over here, hell yeah. Oh man, I'm way behind. Want to sink in red tape, try to get a firearm in Poland as a civilian without being in a club or having any prior military training. Really? That's strange. I'm again outside looking in. I'm an American. I was told that the Polish are very big on their version of the Second Amendment. An Iowa class ship, the Wisconsin was used until. Oh yeah, no, I read that one. Sorry, I'm way behind. Game question: have I played Dead Space or any other horror survival games? No, I don't play horror survival games because I'm a bitch. This is the thing, guys. Okay. My life is weird. I've fought the Taliban in actual gunfights. A couple of them, okay? I would rather do that than fuck with spiders. I've stared down the barrel of World War III when Iran was on some fuck shit, okay? I thought it was World War III. Wasn't even close. They kind of sensationalized it. But did that. I would rather do that than play a horror game because I'm a bitch. I don't do scary shit. The one that I'm into right now is called Star Rupture, and a lot of people have been into that. It's on like early release. It's pretty exciting. If you liked Satisfactory, you'll love Star Rupture. But I've officially, like my buddy, he kind of went all in and kind of did everything. And then, so I was just like exploring, and now we've explored as much of the map as available. So it's like nothing else to do. It straight up says like you've gotten to the end of pre-release. So waiting for some updates. Carrying a 1911, like daily driving a 65 Mustang, it's fun. It'll get the job done, but a modern car would do the same job, but better. Facts. I saw the king of 1911 bros years ago. Let me take you back to 2000. I don't know, it was like 2020, 21 maybe. I don't know. I think it was during COVID. I went to Sportsman's Warehouse over here in Las Cruces. Went there. I was going to get some fishing gear because I was going to go to a trip on the Devil's River. If you ever get a chance to do that, it's a bit expensive because you got to get like permits through the state of Texas and shit like that. Devil's River, highly recommend. There's one company that does it. You pay for the kayak rental. They drop you in. 4 days later, they pick you up like 30-something miles down the river. It was a blast. 10 out of 10. I highly recommend it. Just kayak fishing the entire way. Even got thrown out of my kayak a couple times because of the rapids. Great time. But anyways, I was going there to get some fishing stuff. Dude walks in. I shit you not. I cannot make this up. You know the old school pistol belts that they issued in the military that they don't really issue anymore? Wearing one of those. Oh, we're not there yet. We haven't even scratched the fucking surface, folks. Dude had a sleeveless shirt on. Cool. On that pistol belt that he was wearing over his sweatpants, he had a 1911 with like the old OD green holster, the really impractical one that you can't just like pop open. You actually have to pull down and out like the actual military one. And then on his left side, he had 2 spare magazines for it in sweatpants. And dude, like he like followed me around the store. He just kept popping up and just wouldn't go the fuck away. It was 1911 are cool, but they give boomer vibes. But the thing is, this guy was probably in his late 20s, early 30s. Like he wasn't a boomer, but he was the king of the 1911 guys. Question: if Iran and America become allies again, would you think America would rebuild the F-14 factories and sell some more to Iran with upgrades? No, I don't think that would happen. If we became allies again, like if the regime was overthrown, which because that's the big thing. Like when they did the Islamic Revolution, most of the Western nations were like, cool, you guys are good. I think we should have taken the Tomcats with us, but that's my own opinion. We were just like, cool, you guys do your own thing. If we became allies again, it would be too expensive to get the F-14 factories up and running again. We'd sell them F-16s. That's kind of the go-to. That's like our most exported aircraft. Like there's thousands of F-16s out there. Everybody has them. There's countries that have F-16s that I didn't even know had F-16s. Joke's on you Americans with your MiG-15 has 45 ACP. Have a Fortnite branded Nerf RPG firing 3 rounds a minute. Oh. Oh, man. Anna Markey, how you doing, buddy? It's good to hear from you. Good to have you here, man. Good times, good times. Anna Markey, Australians get weaker. Nerf projectile fingers. Hope you're modded it. Polish the balls to check your reflection in the mall? What is going on? Do I have Australians using Australian language to argue with each other? Because Australians, when they're talking to each other, they don't even speak English. Okay, y'all are liars. You don't even speak English. Like there's some translations that happen. Like in the United States, we call the hood, and in the United Kingdom, they call it the boot or something. And no, the boot is the trunk. The bonnet, they call it the bonnet. A bonnet is some shit that little chick from Little House on the Prairie wore, okay? That's a hood. And then you guys call the trunk the boot. Why is it the boot? You maybe put boots in there. Y'all are confusing, but the Australians, 1,000 times worse. Holy shit, they have their own language. It's insane. You cannot keep up with it. Being the GOAT in the USA, good. Being GOAT in the Middle East, bad. Well played. Well played. What did I call the spiders? 8-legged fucks? I don't do spiders, man. My guy got me the SIG P938 Legion for Valentine's last year. Got it right before I went to Baltimore to deal with my family stuff. I do not expect that level of gift this year. Look, all I'm saying is, Valine, men are real simple. Men, this is the thing. Women don't understand. You don't have to spend any money on a man for Valentine's Day, Christmas, or birthday. $0.00. You can spend zero. Now, there are a couple of different ways you can go with this. I know what everyone's thinking, right? Obviously, sexy stuff. Things that are out of the ordinary sexy stuff. That's always a go-to. Like, that's an easy win, right? Sometimes it's like, hey, I know you've really wanted to go golfing. How about you go golf on your birthday? I got everything here at the house. Boom. That's a win. That's a birthday present. Or, hey, I know you wanted to play this new video game. Go ahead and get it for yourself and play it on your birthday. You don't got to do anything with anyone else. I'll bring you lunch, dinner. Stay in there as long as you want to. Boom. That's a birthday present. That is a Christmas present. That is happiness incarnate. Now I can speak only for myself. I don't have children. Sometimes be like, hey, how about I load the kids up and we take the kids fishing? That might be a birthday gift or maybe a Father's Day gift. I don't know. So I'm just saying there's options. Does the Raptor own a P320? Yeah, I like it when it shoots me. I start with the smaller rounds and then I can build up immunities to the bigger ones. The Codex Astartes supports this action. Command and Conquer Red Alert 2 or Command and Conquer Tiberian Sun. Red Alert 2 all day, every day. Red Alert 2 had the 2 most broken fucking mechanics in the game. Like, this is the thing. If you played Red Alert 2, you played one of 2 factions. You played Yuri, because we all played Yuri's Revenge. Everyone always went like, oh, I play Red Alert 2. We know you meant Yuri's Revenge. We know that, okay? You played Yuri or you played the United States. And you know what your defensive strategy was for both? For Yuri, you put those machine gun turrets everywhere because they could shoot at ground and air targets. Especially if you were playing against America, you needed to be able to hit those air targets. And if you were playing as the United States, you had paratroopers, fucking hundreds of them, with sandbags on every avenue of approach to your goddamn base. We know how you played. I played the same way. But I will say, Generals, I think, was the most aesthetically pleasing. Generals was fun. Real-time strategy games nowadays, they're trying to be something they're not. Like, I got that, what was that one? I got it. I played it a little bit. I didn't like it. It's called... I just pulled up my fucking... No, not there. Can't remember the damn name of the game. But anyways, I got it. And there's like every troop has like 17 different options for them. It's so confusing. It really is confusing. I think Trump and Secretary of War saw your U.S. Marines versus Venezuela was like, we can do better. I don't know. I would I would love to find out that someone up at the Pentagon watches my USA versus the World series. Because I mean, I don't go into like a lot of the nitty gritty, but if I knew what assets I could allocate and I had better intel, I could really plan something. It would just take me a lot of time. And when you have a room full of just planners building an operations order to make things happen, you bounce ideas off each other and like rank goes out the window. I would love to find out that they watched my video. I think you and History of Everything would have a lot to geek out about together. Anyway, that's my last one. 2:36 a.m. here, off to bed. See ya. D Marie. Or Marie? Sorry, D Marie it's a family member's username. That's why I was very confused. Well, thank you so much for being here. Of course. Be safe. Corsair was a great plane, way better than the Mustang. That's a really tough question. I think aesthetically, the Corsair is a way better plane. It looks so good. That gull wing design, so good. But the P-51, it has a special place in history. It really does. The sound, the look of it, it just like, it's one of those things. It's like a Spitfire. If you were flying through the skies over Europe and you saw a Spitfire, you knew that either A, you have some solid backup, or B, you're having a rough fucking day. Okay. Like there's some iconic aircraft in World War II. And I don't know, better is kind of arbitrary. It's like saying, is an F-22 better than an A-10? Well, they're designed for different things. So, I mean, you could say, well, which one's faster? Well, the F-22. Which one's more maneuverable? Well, the A-10, at low speeds anyways. Fallout new Vages, P-38. They were both the best at what they were designed for, but completely different roles. Yes. I think someone asked me a while back, they're like, what is the most underrated aircraft in history? The Hawker Hurricane. Our good old friends over in the United Kingdom, like the Spitfire got all the glory. And don't get me wrong, rightly so. Spitfire was a fucking monster. But the Hawker Hurricane was made in far larger numbers and had to fight kind of an uphill battle. I think it's one of the most underrated aircraft in world history. I really do. F4U equals power P-51 ballerina. Yeah, I can see that. Age of Empires 2 is also pretty made up. Age of Empires, so I got the fourth Age of Empires, and I really enjoy it. I play it every once in a while when I'm bored and I have nothing else to do. But Age of Empires 2, everyone made fucking cannon towers with a wall in front of them, a wall behind them, and then you had a row of trebuchets because that trebuchet was so goddamn broken. You know what's crazy? I didn't even know what a trebuchet was until I played Age of the Empires 2, and I called them trebuchets. And I said, yeah, I'm going to build some trebuchets. And somebody I was with was like, you mean trebuchet? And I was like, no, the big like catapult things. And they're like, yeah, that's trebuchet. And I was like, yeah, Some people saying the Lancaster. Lancaster, also solid plane. Sky Raider could have fallen victim to like the same situation as the Bradley Linebacker. Right plane, wrong time. Is there any military trail tour you wish to travel, like the ones that take several days to complete, and at the end of it, you get to question how they did it back then? I can't think of any specific military trails, per se. I would really like to follow the Allied invasion into Normandy, all the way up through, fucking France, the Ardennes. I'd like to stop by Treblinka, Auschwitz-Birkenau. I want to go through all that and then kind of end up in Berlin and just follow it the whole way. I think that would be really, really cool. I'm super jealous that Europe has that much World War II history. And they don't like rub it in our face. They're like, this is all right here and I can go see it whenever I want to, because I'm very jealous of that shit. BF 109? I don't know. BF 109 was okay. I mean, it didn't excel in any one specific It was a good bomber, I think. BF-109 is what I'm thinking of. Yeah, because it was that's a dive bomber, isn't it? It's a Stuka. BF-109. Am I thinking wrong? No. I was way off. Is Messerschmitt? Yeah, I know. My bad. Look, I don't know everything about everything. Am I high on it? Am I high? No. I purchased my first vintage shotgun and vintage surplus rifle. Surplus rifle, 1897 Winchester 12 gauge. Don't remember the model, and a 1903 made in 1942. That's fucking gangster. I don't have any vintage weapons. Maybe I'll get one day. What about the Napier Sabre Power Tempest? She was crazy with power density and sleeve valve. Just unstable as hell. I don't know. I'm not even familiar with the Napier Sabre. Or the Tempest. That is way off. You know nothing. The Air Cobra is the greatest World War II aircraft of all time. I see your Russian flag, and I will raise you the Polikarpov PO2 used by the Night Witches. Canvas wings, baby. Still making shit happen. Didn't even wear fucking parachutes until 1944 because they were too damn heavy. More Hurricanes took part during the Battle of Britain than did Spitfires. True, but Hurricanes were also made in larger numbers than the Spitfires. Spitfires were expensive because they were all aluminum. They had the Merlin engines. Like they were really well-built planes. The Hurricanes they couldn't climb at the same speed. They were made out of wood. Like they were made in far larger numbers. That's why I'm saying I think the Hurricane was way undervalued, underrated. Is the Ju-87 the Stuka? That's the one I might be thinking of. Buff and the Nerd play Hightail, population lowering. I thought about getting Hightail. I saw it. I don't know, man. I don't know. It looks like Minecraft, but kind of updated. Oh, yeah. The Sabaton song about the Night Witches, it made me want to go learn the history about the Night Witches. When I said hurricane, I wasn't talking about the plane. Wait, was there an actual hurricane during the Battle of Britain? That would be something that I just learned today. I got to check that out because I know the Battle of Britain was significant. All I'm seeing is the Hawker Hurricane. No, Wolfram goes, no. I was like, I didn't think hurricanes happen in that part of the world. They usually just hit our west coast, or east coast, excuse me, and then they hit typhoons, which are fucking hurricanes, but in the Pacific. They hit Asia. Do I watch any streamers? The only one I'm watching besides you is Queso. No, Queso's funny, though. For a little while, I did watch... what the hell's his name? Stone Mountain. I like Stone Mountain because not only is he like funny, he seems like he's very good at these games, but he's also seems like just a regular guy. Like he doesn't try and be anything he's not. The ones I can't stand are the ones that try and put on a persona that isn't actually them. And I feel like that kind of goes for all content creators. Like if I wasn't myself, if I wasn't me, if I tried to pretend I was something that I'm not, I think you guys would see right through me. So I try and be as genuine as I possibly can. True story, bought 2 World War II gun stocks from an old guy at a yard sale. One I'm sure was a, how do you pronounce that? Gewehr? Yeah. 93 and looked like rust on the metal and buttstock. Tried to use steel wool to get it off. It didn't come off. It wasn't rust. Are we saying it's blood? Is that what we're getting at? Did everyone get that as well? Oh, I just watched a playback and Nox yawned on my stream. I think that's what we just got. Space intellect. Ooh. Could be. It could be, or it could be rust. The blood tends to turn black after a long time on stuff. But I don't know. I have what he's having, make it a double. Every now and again, a hurricane makes it up there, but it's super rare. Yeah. You know what I didn't know until recently is that, like, I always wondered, and I just never looked into it. I was like, why don't we ever hear about tornadoes in Europe? Are we just Americans? We're the loudest about them. They don't fucking happen. Like, America, that is a strictly American thing. The amount of tornadoes we get. I think Canada's like second in the world. They get like maybe like 10 or 20 a year. America gets like over 1,000 every year, and the rest of the world doesn't get pretty much any at all. I didn't know that. I thought we were just the loudest complainers about them. But I guess if you're in Moore, Oklahoma in 2013, 2014, and the fastest recorded wind on Earth hits you when an EF5 comes through and moves everything at 304 miles an hour. That's a real thing. It was like 303, 304. It's the fastest measured wind on Earth was in Moore, Oklahoma during their F5. Was it 2011? It has to do with the flatland and airflow. Well, yeah. You got the warm air coming in from the Gulf and then the cool air from the Rocky Mountains being pushed down by the jet stream. And it mixes into just this shitstorm. And I looked around the world after I found out about that. I was like, somebody else has to have something like this. They don't. They really don't. Someone said 1999. Moore's been wiped out a few times. Oh, was it 321? I know it was over 300. It's fucking moving. Like, that is insane. And F-22 was hurt in that storm? Tinker. I bet it was Tinker. Because Moore is right up next to Oklahoma City. Are you seeing Sabaton live during their U.S. tour this year? I did not even know they had a U.S. tour. I want to go now. Come see them with me in Iowa in March. Got an extra ticket. I don't know if I'll go to the Iowa show. Is that Iowa? IA? That's Iowa? Do I have anything going on in April or March? I didn't even know they were coming to the U.S. Now I kind of want to go. I know for a fact, I've even told, so I linked up with my agent. Yes, I have an agent. Well, kind of. They just get me like ads and stuff like that. So when you see like, this is brought to you by, that's through a company that does that for me. And they're like, are you going to SHOT Show? And I was like, there's just like nothing against SHOT Show. There's just nothing there for me. I don't even know what questions to ask some of these vendors. Like I don't know what to do. But I did tell them, I was like, look, I'm very interested in AUSA because I want to see all the new defense contractor shit, right? Absolutely. And then I am going to Oshkosh. And he's like, well, if I can't get you Oshkosh, I was like, then I'm going by myself. I'm going to Oshkosh this year. That's happening. That without question, I will be going there. I don't know how long I'll be there. It's the M&M podcast. I sit back with this pack of zigzags. Oh, sorry. But Hightail's not perfect. It's not perfect, but it's fun. It has some great quality of life, even though it's still in early access. It's $20. There you go. God damn it. Now I have to get Hightail. The UK is the most annual tornadoes by land area in the world. By land area in the world. Wolfram, I'm 100% you are wrong on that because I've watched documentaries about tornadoes and they've straight up been like, the U.S. is the worst in the world. You know what? We'll just let her say it. Siri? Which country has the most tornadoes every year? Can you read that for me? She said the United States. No, Heights number, but not by land area. What? Oh, you're saying like per square mile. You move the goalpost, Wolfram. This is why we're going to take Canada. You're going to become the 51st state. We'll make you a deal. Give us Alberta. You guys can have Minnesota. That's I'll make you a deal. Maybe part of New York. not upstate. We want those people. You can have the city. No, I said that right in the first place. No, you move the goalpost. Shut up. Shut up. All right, guys, that's my 2 hours. If you are a Pepperback, here in about 3 minutes, you will have a video going live over on Pepperbox. So thank you all so much for being here. If you'd like to support the channel, please go to habituallinecrosser.com, get yourself some merch, maybe buy me a beer. But the cheapest and easiest way to support the channel is just watch my videos. That's all I will ever ask you guys. Habitual Line Crosser, are you familiar with Wartime Stories YouTube channel? If yes, do you have any similar stories you can share with us? I'm not familiar with them. Let me look into it. Chimmy, I don't know how to say that word, but I'll see you guys next